Final Battle Saga Episodes 52 to 71. Episode 52. Gogeta and Gotenks. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Den ran into trouble in space as the ship ran into an asteroid field. After steering his way out of trouble, he found himself in more as a fire was blazing out of control on board the ship. Den managed to save himself again by splitting the ship in half. Back on Earth, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, Chibi Trunks and Psychor are in the Diaglo Desert. Vegeta, why the hell did you drag me all the way out here? Goku, Psychor needs training. Vegeta, I knew coming here was a waste. You could do that yourself. Goku, well, Gogeta and Gotenks would be a greater challenge to Psychor. Vegeta, fine. Goten and Chibi Trunks perform the fusion dance. Goten and Chibi Trunks. Food. Iron. Hey. The two become Gotenks. Goku and Vegeta then perform the fusion dance. Goku and Vegeta. Food. Iron. Hey. The two become Gogeta. Psychor. Who do I fight first? Gogeta. No one. For the first half an hour, you'll just watch me and Gotenks fight. Study our movements. You should always know your opponent. Psychor. Okay. Gotenks and Gogeta get in their fighting stances. Gogeta. Here we go. Gogeta and Gotenks charge at each other. They both punch each other in the face. Gotenks knees Gogeta in the stomach. Gogeta glides back a bit. Both Gotenks and Gogeta transform into Super Saiyan 4S. Gotenks jumps up into the air and launches 3 blasts at Gogeta. Gogeta jumps up into the air and the blasts miss. Gogeta clutches Gotenks to the ground. Gotenks falls through the ground into an underground cave. Gogeta flies into the cave and Psychor follows. Gotenks is buried in a pile of rocks. Psychor. Oh, he's down. Gotenks climbs out of the rocks. Gotenks. Don't count me out, Psychor. Gotenks charges at Gogeta. Gogeta. Stop. Gotenks stops in mid-air. Gotenks. What gives? Gogeta. I just remembered, Psychor can't sense power levels. We should teach him, that way he calls know his opponent's limits. Gotenks. Yeah, you're right. Gogeta powers up. Gogeta. Okay, make your key stretch from your Tandy to mine. Once the connection is made, you should have a weird feeling in your stomach. Psychor. Yes, I feel it. Gogeta. The stronger the feeling, the higher the power level of your opponent is. After enough practice, you can sense your opponent without making the connection. Gotenks. One thing all great warriors do is make up their own techniques. The 3 fly out of the cave. Psychor, how do I do that? Gotenks. Be creative. I made the KAMIKAZEE ghost. Gotenks blows the kamikaze ghost out of his mouth. The ghost flies into the cave and explodes. Psychor. Awesome. Up on the lookout tower, Piccolo is in deep meditation while Mr. Popo fixes up the lookout. Piccolo awakes to find himself in an old, dark temple. Piccolo. Where am I? Narrator. Will Psychor use his new learned abilities for good? Where has Piccolo been brought? Could it be some dream? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 53. The Training of Piccolo. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Gogeta and Gotenks helped Psychor become a better fighter. Piccolo was meditating and somehow transported to a weird location. A voice comes from nowhere. Spirit? I am the oldest guardian of Earth. All who wish to watch over the Earth come here. But you're not the only one. Piccolo. Only one for what? Piccolo turns around to see a warrior. Piccolo. Who are you supposed to be? Treasure. I'm Treasure, the one who will be the next guardian of Earth. Piccolo. That can be only one at a time. Treasure. I was just about to suggest that myself. Piccolo charges at Trezor. Trezor hilches behind Piccolo and punches him in the back. Piccolo flies forward. Piccolo turns around again. Trezor goes to punch Piccolo again, but Piccolo grabs Trezor's fist and snaps Trezor's wrist. Piccolo then punches Trezor's elbow, making his arm bend the wrong way. Trezor kicks Piccolo away. Piccolo rolls across the floor. Piccolo stands back up and Trezor punches through Piccolo's stomach. Piccolo. Didn't I break the arm? Trezor pulls his arm out of Piccolo. Trezor. Yes, but I feel nothing. You should know better than to fight someone that has nothing to lose. Piccolo's stomach regenerates. Piccolo. That's why you can't be the guardian of Earth. Trezor disappears. Spirit. You have passed the first test. Back in the Diaglo Desert, Goku is teaching Zykor some karate. Goku. Okay Zykor, this is the crouching tiger stance. From this stance you can both defend and attack fairly easily. Goku gets into a crouching tiger stance. Vegeta. Why are you teaching him this useless stuff? Goku. It's not useless, it's the basics. I learned all this, and you know how useful it can be. Remember Zykor, brute force alone is nothing if you don't know how to use it. Zykor. Right. Back in this mysterious temple, Piccolo is waiting. Spirit. People's biggest fear is their failure. This self-doubt is their worst enemy, as well as their evil intentions. Piccolo. What do you mean? King Piccolo. Everyone wants something for themselves. Piccolo turns around to see King Piccolo. King Piccolo. Being the guardian of Earth is like ruling the world, don't you think? Piccolo. No, not at all. No one admires you when you're all alone. King Piccolo. What do you know? You've been a failure. Piccolo. I refuse to fail this test. Piccolo launches a blast at King Piccolo and it goes through, but there's no hole. King Piccolo. You can't stop me. Not without killing you. So join me and we shall rule the world, destroying anyone who may stand in our way. Piccolo. Most of my life I've been hurting humans. No more. I'd rather die than hurt another. King Piccolo disappears. Spirit. I think that's the fastest anyone defeated themselves. You Earthlings sure have plenty of determination. A new threat is about to show itself on Earth. I'll make your final test to find your way out of this place. Back in the Diaglo Desert, everyone is taking the break. Goku. I think it's about time now. Zykor, we're going to put everything you've learned to the test. Goku and Vegeta perform the fusion dance. Goku and Vegeta. Food. Iron. Hey. The two become Gogeta. Goten and Chibi Trunks perform the fusion dance. Goten and Chibi Trunks. Food. Iron. Hey. The two Gotens. Gogeta. Now let's how much your skills have improved. Zykor gets into a crouching tiger stance. Narrator. Has Zykor's training been completed? Will Piccolo ever make it out and back to warn the others of this new terror? Could Zykor be this new terror that was spoken of? Find out on the episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 54. A new warrior narrator. Last time, Gogeta and Gotenks taught Zykor, teaching tons of martial arts techniques. Piccolo found himself trapped in a weird place as he was faced with multiple challenges. Piccolo proved to be capable of passing each test. Piccolo was then informed of a new warrior that could be a threat to Earth. Could this prophecy be true? Find out today, on Dragon Ball AF. Zykor is in the crouching tiger stance. Gogeta charges towards Zykor and starts punching and kicking at him. Zykor blocks with his arms and legs. Back in the Weird Temple, Piccolo is looking around. Piccolo, I've been going in circles. There's no way out of here. If there's a way in, there's a way out. That's it. My way in. Piccolo goes to the spot where he first arrived in there. Piccolo then begins to meditate. He opens his eyes to find himself back on the lookout tower. Piccolo looks over the edge of the lookout. Piccolo. That old man is out of his mind. I sense nothing wrong down there. Back at the Diaglo Desert, Gogeta stops his attacking. Gogeta. Again. Zarkor charges at Gogeta as Zarkor powers up into a Super Saiyan 5. Zarkor starts kicking and punching at Gogeta. Gotenks charges at Zarkor from behind. Zarkor turns around and kicks at Gotenks. Gotenks grabs Zarkor's foot. Zarkor twists around and kicks Gotenks in the face with his other foot. Gotenks releases Zarkor's foot as Gotenks spins to the ground. Zarkor runs up to Gogeta and runs up his chest. Zarkor fond flips off of Gogeta's chest and lands sitting on his shoulders. Zarkor punches Gogeta on both sides of the head. Zarkor lands back and throws Gogeta at Gotenks with his feet. Back on the lookout, Piccolo is still looking down on Earth. Piccolo. Thinking Zarkor's skills have certainly improved. Perhaps he could be this new threat. Back in the Diaglo Desert, Zarkor spin kicks Gotenks. Zarkor turns back at Gogeta. Gogeta punches Zarkor in the face. Zarkor puts his hand on the ground and kicks Gogeta in the chest twice. Gotenks charges at Zarkor. Zarkor backflips over Gotenks and kicks him in the back. Zarkor then backflips again and lands on the ground. Zarkor is about to punch Gotenks, but Gogeta interrupts. Gogeta. That's good. Zarkor stops. Gogeta. You've done great. Another thing I think you may find useful is hiding your power level. It lets your opponent think that you're weaker than you really are. It also makes it harder for someone to track your movements. Zarkor. Sounds hard. Gotenks. Nah, it's easy, child's play. Gogeta. It's the opposite of powering up. Instead of letting your energy out of your Tantien, put as much ki as you can back into it. Try it. Zarkor closes his eyes and concentrates. Gogeta. You're doing it. Zarkor gets dizzy and falls down. Zarkor. What happened? Gogeta. Your body's not used to the low amount of energy. You'll get used to it. Why don't you try creating your own technique and we'll test it? Zarkor. I already created one, Warp Kamehameha. Gogeta. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. Okay, show me it again. Zarkor jumps into the air and powers back up. Zarkor. Warp Kamehameha. Zarkor launches a Warp Kamehameha down at Gotenks and Gogeta. Gogeta instant transmits himself out of the way. The blast hits Gotenks. Zarkor stops his blast. Gotenks is on the ground twitching. Gotenks. Out. Zarkor. Where'd the other go? Zarkor senses Gogeta behind him and turns around. Zarkor. Why'd you move? Gogeta. To teach you a lesson. You should not leave room for your opponent to escape. Zarkor. Why though? Gogeta. It wastes energy and gives your opponent time to rest and heal. Back on the lookout, Piccolo is watching the fight. Piccolo. Could it be him? But how? He seemed happy. No, wait, there's someone else. What? Claro Yen. Can't be. Back in the Diaglo Desert, Gogeta and Zarkor are floating in the air. Gogeta. Ready for another round? Zarkor. You bet. The creature that looks like Scarl and knocks Zarkor to the ground. Huckster. I'll fight Zarkor. Gotenks and Gogeta. Claro Yen. Narrator. How could Claro Yen have survived such an explosion? Could he have risen from the grave? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 55. Who is this guy? Narrator. Last time, Zarkor's training continued as Piccolo returned back to find everything normal. He was so fixated on Zarkor that he was incapable of seeing the real enemy. Find out who this guy is, today on Dragon Ball AF. Gogeta. Claro again, but how? Gotenks. I knew Bra couldn't have defeated him. Huckster. Ha ha. Oh, I wouldn't be afraid of Claro again. I assure you, he's no longer among the living. I am Huckster, Claro's father and ruler of planet Belcroft and soon, the entire northern quadrant. Zycor floats back up to the others. Zycor. Why? What's the point of even being here? Huckster. My planet's resources have been completely depleted. It's nothing but a wasted pile of rocks. I came here to take over this planet and enslave all the pathetic life forms living on it. I had to lie low while Claro was here. He was my only son, and if he were to kill me, he would be new king. With him out of the way, I can't continue what I started, and I'll start by sending you science trash to the next dimension. Gogeta. Tell me, how did you know Zycor's name? Huckster. I've been in hiding on Earth for the past year. I've studied your fighting tactics. I know enough to be able to defeat you all, easily. Gogeta. Show me. Zycor. No, he said he'd fight me. So let's go, Huckster. If you've really been subduing us, you'd know that there's no end to us. Huckster. Yes, but I also know that I'll be the one who gives you the end. Gogeta. Remember your training? Huckster. Your training won't help you out this time. Zycor gets into his fighting pose. Zycor. Shut up, and fight me. Huckster charges at Zycor. Huckster goes to punch Zycor. Zycor gets ready to block, but Huckster hilches behind Zycor and kicks him in the side of the head. Zycor flies through the air and hits the Captos. Huckster turns to Gogeta and Gotenks. Huckster. As you can see, I'm much faster, stronger and smarter than Claro again. Zycor floats back up to the others with needles stuck in him. Huckster. Back for more, are we? Zycor powers up and the needles fly out of him. Most of the needles fly at Huckster and embed themselves within him. The needles then pop out Huckster and the holes in him begins steaming as they close up. Zycor. What? Huckster. Don't worry. I'm not immortal like you. Like Namex, the Velcrosians have a special technique. Our bodies fully heal after foreign objects enter it. That's why we're considered the best race that can fight. It used to be Saiyans, but it was thought that they were wiped out of existence after Frieza came along. Gogeta. Some of us survived, became more human. Now instead of destroying planets and people, this race protects them. No matter how strong you are, we won't stop until you've been stopped. Huckster. What a touching speech, but nothing you say can keep me from my goal. Zycor. Then let's go another round. Huckster kicks Zycor to the ground and then drop kicks Zycor across the chest. Zycor screams in pain. Huckster. And to think, I'm just playing around right now. Back on the lookout, Piccolo is watching what is happening. Piccolo. Thinking this isn't good. Mr. Popo. What's happening? Piccolo. It's not going to matter if they don't get any help. Piccolo is about to jump off of the lookout tower, but Mr. Popo stops him. Mr. Popo. You're not supposed to fight. Piccolo. No, but I know who can't. Besides, I've never liked rules much anyways. Piccolo jumps down into the clouds. Narrator. Can Zycor show Huckster the true might of the Saiyans with his new understandings of martial arts? Or will all his training prove to be pointless in this match? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 56. Gogeta vs. Evil Huckster. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, everyone was shocked to see Claro still alive. But as time lingered on, they realized that this enemy was in fact King Huckster of planet Velcroft, Claro's father. Huckster himself had intentions of putting the Saiyan race back on the list of endangered species. Elsewhere, the new guardian of Earth, Piccolo, went off in search of help. Piccolo lands on Rushi's island. Piccolo knocks on the cane house door. Inside, Krillin and Android 18 are having sex on the couch. Android 18. Keep going. Krillin. The door. Android 18. It's probably another salesman. Piccolo knocks again, but still no answer. Piccolo grabs the doorknob and turns it. Piccolo. It's unlocked. Piccolo swings the door open to see Android 18 and Krillin naked on the couch. Android 18 hops behind the couch. Krillin. Piccolo. Piccolo. Krillin. This is no time for fun and games. Goku needs you help, pronto. And get some clothes on. Piccolo throws Krillin's pants that were on the tee at Krillin. Piccolo walks out of the house and closes the door behind him. Piccolo flies off. Krillin. That was rude. Android 18 pops up from behind the couch with a blanket wrapped around her and she sees Krillin heading out the door. Android 18. You better be back before I lose this feeling. Krillin shakes his head and flies off. Krillin. Thinking, why am I always unlucky? Back in the Diaglo Desert, Zycor charges at Ogster. Ogster punches through Zycor's stomach. Ogster backhands Zycor in the face with his other hand, making Zycor spin around on Ogster's arm. Ogster punches Zycor in the face. Zycor slides off of Ogster's arm and falls to the ground. Zycor begins healing. Ogster. Yes, go ahead, heal up. The more you heal, the more fun we can have. Off in Satan City, Piccolo arrives at Gohan's house and rings the doorbell. Piccolo. Thinking, I wonder if I should walk in. Videl answers the door. Piccolo. Get Gohan, there's trouble. Videl. There's always trouble with you guys. Gohan appears at the door. Gohan. Hey Piccolo, what's up? Back in the Diaglo Desert, Gogeta and Gotenks are standing on a cliff, watching Zycor and Ogster fight. Krillin lands on the cliff. Krillin. What's going on? Somewhere between the Diaglo Desert and Satan City, Gohan and Piccolo are flying towards the fight. Piccolo. Ogster, Garoan's father is here to take over Earth. He's not here for revenge. He cares nothing of his son's death. Gohan. I can't sense his energy. He seems even more powerful than Garoan. Piccolo. Ogster's been tossing Zycor around like a rag doll and I don't think he's anywhere near the full extent of his true power. Gohan and Piccolo arrive at the Diaglo Desert and land on the cliff, beside the others. Gohan. Shouldn't Broly be here? Gogeta. I haven't seen him for a while. Ogster swings Zycor by the leg and lets go of him. Zycor flies into the cliff that the others are standing on. Part of the cliff collapses on Zycor. Gogeta floats up to meet Ogster. Gogeta. This fight is between us now. Ogster. Fine by me, narrator. Could Ogster be using his full power? Or will the Z-Warriors be blown away once his true power is revealed? Who will be the victor of this war? More to come on the next episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 57. Piccolo's success. Last time, our heroes gathered for the fight against Ogster, Garoan's father, who had no intentions of letting the Saiyans live. After Zycor was tossed away, Gogeta entered the ring. Gogeta and Ogster are floating in the air. Ogster. Just to be fair, I'll give you 3 free shots. Show me your best. Gogeta. I don't need anything but my own power to defeat you. Gogeta powers up into a Super Saiyan 4. Gogeta continues to power up. Ogster. Yes, impressive, but is it enough? Gogeta. Ogster, without powering up, charges at Gogeta and punches him in the face. Gogeta is slammed against the ground and bounces off the ground and hits the cliff. This time, the whole cliff collapses and the Z-Warriors begin to float and continue to watch. Gogeta is buried in the rocks of swell. Piccolo. I've got to help. Spirit. If you fight, you'll never be a guardian. Piccolo. If I don't fight, there won't be an earth to look over. Piccolo charges at Ogster and throws a couple of punches. Ogster backhands Piccolo away. Piccolo hits the ground and slides in the sand. Spirit. Congratulations, you've passed every test. Now kick his ass. Gogeta and Psychor explode out of the pile of rocks. Psychor. Let's show him who's boss. Gogeta. No, I'll do this on my own. I'd like to see how much my power has increased since Goku became a Super Saiyan 5. Psychor floats up to the others. Psychor. Gogeta's going in alone. Gotenks. Well, he better not hog all the fun. Gogeta powers up as much as he can and then floats back up to Ogster. Ogster charges at Gogeta again and goes to kick. Gogeta grabs Ogster's leg and throws him away. Ogster lets himself fly into Gotenks, headbutting Gotenks in the forehead. Gotenks falls to the ground. Ogster then backflips and kicks Gohan on the top of the head. Gohan falls to the ground as well. Ogster karate chops Krillin, knocking him to the ground. Ogster looks down at everyone on the ground. Ogster. Gee, Gogeta, you've done an excellent job. Gogeta clenches his fists. Ogster. So what will it be? Should I kill them first? Or would you prefer yourself? Ogster begins to power up a huge death ball. Gogeta. You wouldn't. Ogster. Really now? Well, then, why don't we see what I will do? Gogeta charges at Ogster. Ogster puts up a ki shield and Gogeta bounces off of it. The ball stops growing. Ogster. Now watch as your friends become annihilated. Ogster launches the death ball to the ground between Gotenks, Gohan and Krillin. Gogeta. No. Psychor. They'll die for sure. Just before the death ball hits the ground, Psychor moves underneath it and tries to push it up. Psychor is being pushed back into the ground. Narrator. Can Psychor stop the death ball? Or will he perish with the rest of the Earth's inhabitants? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 58. Gogeta fails narrator. On the last episode Dragon Ball AF, Gogeta began his fight against Ogster, but Gogeta was nothing compared to the Combat King. Ogster wasted no time in preparing an attack to eliminate some of the Earth's special forces. Psychor is trying to push the death ball up, but it's pushing him down. Psychor. I've put too much pain on this planet. Time to repay me departments. Psychor powers up and pushes with all his might. The death ball starts moving up. Psychor's hands begins to sink into the ball, but he continues to push it. Psychor. It burns. Ogster. Ha, you fool. Ogster launches a small ki ball at the death ball. The tiny ki ball is absorbed into the death ball. The death ball falls back to Earth, pinning Psychor between it and the Earth. The death ball sinks into the Earth a bit and explodes. The explosion rips Psychor apart. The shock wave rips the terrain apart and almost Gogeta away. Ogster. Aha ha ha. Gogeta watches the smoke clear, hoping someone survived. He looks in the hole in the earth, but nothing. Gogeta. Everyone's gone. Even Psychor. I should have helped. I should have helped. Gogeta begins to power up. He transforms into a Super Saiyan 5. Ogster. You expect to beat me like that? That death ball wasn't even half of what I can't do. Gogeta. What? Ogster begins powering up. He then stops. Ogster. There, this should be good enough. Ogster kicks Gogeta in the stomach and then in the face. Gogeta moves back a bit. Gogeta. That's some power. Gogeta charges at Ogster and goes to punch Ogster in the face. Ogster bends backwards and knees Gogeta on the chin, then punches Gogeta in the stomach. Gogeta bends over. Ogster grabs Gogeta in the headlock and begins punching him in the face. Gogeta powers up some more. His increase in energy makes Ogster get pushed back. Ogster. Oh, Fisty. Dogster clutches Gogeta to the ground. Gogeta regains control of himself and lands on his feet on a rock. Dogster. Here's a going away present. Dogster launches a blast down at Gogeta. Gogeta powers down and stands in the instant transmission pose. The blast hits the ground and explodes. Gogeta appears behind the rock. Gogeta. He's too powerful. Piccolo. Gogeta. Gogeta looks down to see Piccolo stuck under a rock. Gogeta. Piccolo, you're alive. Piccolo. If I'm alive, Gohan must be too. Gogeta. And Gotenks. Piccolo. Get these rocks off my arms. Gogeta lifts the rocks off of Piccolo's arms. Piccolo blasts his lower body that was stuck under the rocks. Piccolo then regenerates himself. Dogster senses the blast. Dogster. What was that? Piccolo. You hold him off for a bit. I'll see if anyone else survived. Gogeta. Okay. Gogeta is about to leave but Piccolo stops him. Piccolo. Gogeta, good luck. Narrator. Piccolo barely survived and he was the furthest away from the explosion. Could anyone else have survived an attack like that? If so, would they even be able to fight again? And can Gogeta hold off Dogster long enough for help to arrive? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 59. Gogeta fails. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Saga is trying his best to stop the Death Ball from crashing into the earth. His efforts were in vain as it exploded in his face and ripped him to shreds. But not everyone died. Piccolo survived and regenerated his body and decided to help out. Gogeta flies up above the rock, and Dogster was waiting for him. Dogster. Boot. Dogster punches Gogeta in the face. Gogeta flies back into another rock. Dogster chases after him. As soon as Dogster passes over Piccolo, Piccolo jumps out of his hiding place and starts jumping from rock to rock, looking for survivors. Dogster turns around and starts launching blasts at him. Piccolo dodges the blasts. Gogeta grabs Dogster's arm and turns him around. Gogeta punches Dogster in the chest a couple of times, but there was no effect. Dogster punches Gogeta back against the rock. Gogeta smashes through the rock. Gogeta lands on another rock. Gogeta. Enough playing around. Gogeta powers back up into a Super Saiyan 5. Gogeta charges at Dogster. Dogster backhands Gogeta and he goes twirling back to the ground. Gogeta lands on his feet and jumps back into the air. Gogeta. SOLARE flare. The blinding light surrounds the area. Dogster was not affected, since he closed his eyes in time, and Zilch is betting Gogeta to elbow him in the back. Gogeta is knocked into the crater. His hand touches some blood on the ground. Gogeta. Blood. Not mine. Gogeta remembers Saga exploding. Gogeta. Saga. He's alive. I just need to buy him time for his cells to regrow. Not too far from Gogeta, Piccolo is looking around the rocks and sees Krillin and pulls him from the rocks. Piccolo. Krillin, wake up. Krillin doesn't wake up. Piccolo. You better not be dead. Piccolo carries Krillin to an oasis in the Diablo Desert and lights him down by a pound. Piccolo. You should be safe here for now. Piccolo flies back to the fight. Over in West City, Bron, Pan, and Maron are shopping in a mall. Maron. This place is so big. Bron. I live in this town and I always get lost in here. Maron. You're lucky. My parents are like hermits. Pan drops her bags just as they exit the mall. Pan. Something's wrong. I can't feel it. Bron. Maybe my big brother knows about it. Pan picks her bags back up and the three head towards the capsule corp. Back in the Diablo Desert, Gogeta charges at Dogster and goes to punch. Dogster hilches out of the way and kicks Gogeta to the ground. Gogeta lands on another rock. Gogeta. How do I always hit the ground? If only Vegeta was stronger, then they fused. Dr. launches a blast down at Gogeta. Gogeta ducks and the blast hits the rock behind Gogeta. The explosion sends Gogeta back into the crater. Gogeta looks beside himself to see Zykor's torso reforming. Dr. So another one lived. Back at the Capsule Corp, Brawn, Pan and Maron enter the building just as Future Trunks is leaving it. Brawn, where are you going? Future Trunks. There's a fight I'm going to check out. Future Trunks flies off. Back in the Diablo Desert, Gogeta charges at Ogster. Gogeta. One more try. Ogster uppercut Gogeta higher into the sky. Ogster then zlicks above him and clutches him to the ground. Gogeta. Maybe not. Gogeta hits the ground in the crater and faints. Narrator. Can Ogster really have defeated Gogeta? Will Ogster finish off Zykorp before he can fully heal himself? And will anyone resurface from the rubble to face Ogster? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 60. Broly returns. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Gogeta tried his luck against Ogster. Even as a Super Saiyan 5, he wasn't powerful enough to even land a punch on the Super Velcrotion. Gogeta was launched to the ground with a final blow from the enemy. Gogeta is lying on the ground. Piccolo, carrying Gotenks, floats down to Gogeta. Piccolo. Gogeta, I found Gotenks. He's still alive, but not in any condition to fight. Suddenly, Gogeta and Gotenks defuse. Piccolo. Oh, great. Ogster. Well, looks like I could finish you all off at once. An easy victory. Zykorp. Not too easy. Zykorp kicks Ogster in the face. Ogster grabs Zykorp's ankle. Ogster. Get down there. Ogster throws Zykorp down to the others. Ogster creates a key ball in his hand. Suddenly, two space pods fall to the earth and land in the Diablo Desert. Ogster. Thinking I've felt that energy before. Can't he be back already? The two pods open and Broly and Jinan exit the space pods. They both float up out of the craters to see Ogster and the others. Broly. Jinan, head home. Jinan. I can't fight. Broly. Yeah, I know. You're pretty fisty in bed, but I think this is out of your league. Jinan. Fine. Jinan flies off. Future Trunks lands beside Piccolo. Piccolo. Nice to see you. Future Trunks. Yeah, I was a little late. Broly lands on solid ground. Future Trunks floats over beside Broly. Broly. Let's fuse for now. The two perform the fusion dance. Ogster. No. I must prevent them from fusing. Broly and Future Trunks. Food. Iron. Ogster launches a blast at Broly and Future Trunks. Broly and Future Trunks. Hey! Broly's and Future Trunks' fingers touch just as Ogster's blast hits them and explodes. Ogster. Thinking if they fuse, there's no way I can't win. The smoke clears and Future Trunks is lying on the ground, but Broly is still standing. Ogster. What? It didn't even faze him. Broly. Thinking that's okay, Trunks wasn't part of the plan. Besides, fusing with him only make me weaker since his power level is much lower than my own. Broly transforms directly into a Mystic Saiyan. Ogster. Thinking no, his energy is too much. Broly charges at Ogster and elbows him in the face. Ogster is sent flying off into the distance. Broly then drops down to Piccolo and Zykorp. Broly. Zykorp, you're coming with me. Off in the distance, in an oasis, Ogster is lying on some grass beside a pond. He sits up and he has a bleeding nose. Ogster. R. I think he broke my nose. I need some way to get rid of Broly. Ogster looks over onto the other side of the pond and sees Krillin lying on the ground. Narrator. What ideas can Huckster concoct to get rid of Broly that can include Krillin? What does Broly wish to do with Zycor? More to come next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 61. Where's Broly and Zycor? Narrator. Last time on Dragon Ball AF, all hopes seemed lost, that is until Broly and his new wife Jinan returned to Earth. Broly showed his mighty power against Huckster and proved that the Saiyans still have what it takes to survive. Zycor. Where are we going? Broly. Questions later. Let's go. Broly grabs onto Zycor's arm and drags him off into the sky. Piccolo. Where are they going? We need them. Maybe Broly defeated Huckster with that one punch. Future Trunks wakes up and joins Piccolo. Future Trunks. What happened to Broly? Piccolo. I'm not sure. He and Zycor took off somewhere. I think Huckster might be dead. Either that or he knows how to hide his power level. Future Trunks. We might as well go and find out. If he's knocked out, we can finish him. Okay, but let's run. I don't want him to sense us coming. Piccolo and Future Trunks begin running towards Huckster. Broly and Zycor land on the lookout tower. Broly. Hey. Popo guy. Open the chamber door. Mr. Popo. Shouldn't you be helping Piccolo? Broly. Trust me, this will help. Mr. Popo leads them through the temple over to the door of the hyperbolic time chamber. He grabs the handle. Mr. Popo. You know about this place? Broly. I know enough, trust me. Mr. Popo opens the door and Broly drags Zycor in. Zycor. Hey. Wait, where are we going? The door closes behind them. Back in Diablo Desert, Piccolo and Future Trunks arrive at an oasis. Piccolo. Darn. This is where I left Krillin. Huckster got to him first. Goku. Hey guys. I found them. Goku, Vegeta, Goten and Chibi Trunks land beside Piccolo. Piccolo. Goku. You gave away our position. Huckster flies out from a tree, with Krillin in his hands, and floats in the air. Goku. Krillin. Huckster. Don't move. Surrender your lives and I'll spare his. Vegeta floats into the air. Vegeta. Ha ha. I guess Krillin's going to take one for the team. Huckster. What? R. Don't push me. I'll do it. Vegeta. I know, and I really don't care what happens to that runt. Second, if you were to kill him, your only defense would be destroyed. Suddenly, Gohan kicks Huckster from behind, making him drop Krillin and they both fall to the ground. Gohan is all cut up and panting. He floats down to the others. Goku. Nice to see you made it. Gohan. Yeah, me too. He really packs a punch. Huckster floats back into the sky. Back inside the hyperbolic time chamber, Zycor is a Super Saiyan 5 and Broly is a Mystic Saiyan. Broly. Alright, this is how it goes. I'm going to beat the living shit out of you, and you're going to do your healing thing. This will keep going until you're as strong as me. Okay. Zycor. Yeah. That would be great. Broly. Enough talking. Broly launches a small key ball at Zycor. The ball goes inside of Zycor and explodes his body to pieces. Zycor's body pieces begin to join back together until he is fully reformed. Narrator. Why would Broly leave the fight to train Zycor? Can Zycor even become that strong? And with Broly not attending the fight, do the Z Warriors stand a chance against Huckster? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 62. Vegeta's up. Narrator. Last time on Dragon Ball AF, Broly carried Zycor off to train him the hyperbolic time chamber. Piccolo and Trunks were joined by everyone else to fight off Huckster. But this villain had plans of his own. He used Krillin as a hostage to try to escape his certain death, but to his surprise, He was outsmarted. Talkster. Who did that? Vegeta. It doesn't matter. Your fight is against me now. Hope you're feeling lucky. Vegeta powers up into a Super Saiyan 4. Talkster. You sure are confident today, Vegeta. Vegeta. Now I'll show you what. Vegeta charges at Ogster. He is about to punch Ogster, but then Vegeta just disappears. Ogster. Where did he go? I didn't even see him. Ogster begins looking around for Vegeta. He senses an energy increase and launches a blast behind him, but there's nothing there. Ogster. What's going on? How's he doing this? Ogster senses something again and launches another blast, but still nothing. Ogster. Thinking, how could Vegeta be so quick that I can't even see him? He's never been this powerful before. Ogster continues to look around. Vegeta. Final flash. Vegeta launches the final flash from above, down at Ogster. Ogster. What? Ogster just barely dodges the technique. Goku. Kamehameha. Goku stops Vegeta's blast from hitting the earth by deflecting it with his Kamehameha wave. Ogster. Thinking that was too close. Ogster charges at Vegeta. Vegeta. Big Bang attack. Vegeta launches the large key ball at Ogster. Ogster dodges that as well. The Big Bang attack heads towards the planet. Goku reflects it back up at Ogster. Ogster dodges it again and it almost hits Vegeta. Back in the hyperbolic time chamber, Zarkor's body reforms. Broly launches a single ball, which splits into dozens of other balls, that falls on Zarkor. Zarkor reforms again. Zarkor. Ah. This hurts. Broly blasts Zarkor's head off. Broly. Stop complaining. Back in the Diaglo Desert, Ogster charges at Vegeta. Narrator. Vegeta is proving to be more than Ogster bargained for, but can Ogster be using his full power? Or does this Titan still have more to use? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 63. Vegeta's transformation. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Vegeta refused to allow Ogster to fight anyone but himself. Ogster closes his eyes and concentrates. Then he senses Vegeta. Ogster. There he is. Ogster turns around to see Vegeta with his hands together in a gun shape. Vegeta. GALET Gun X. Vegeta launches the tiny thing beam at Ogster. Ogster creates a red key shield around his hand and then backhands the beam away. The beam turns around and heads towards Ogster again. Ogster backhands it away again. The beam turns back at Ogster 3 more times. The third time that Ogster knocks the beam away, he falls down to the ground. The blast flies down at him. Ogster moves and the beam goes into the ground and doesn't return. Vegeta. What? Ogster. As I said earlier, I've watched you all for a while and your fighting tactics. I've created a counter for each of your techniques. Goku. Thinking Zarkor could really learn from him. Ogster. As you see, I far outmatch you all. Vegeta. That's okay. I still have another trick you haven't seen from me. Ogster. Vegeta. I was hoping to get to challenge Kakarot and surprise him, but since you've ruined my day, I think that's only if you pay for it. Ogster. What do you think you could do about it? Vegeta. This. Vegeta begins to power up. Back in the hyperbolic time chamber, Broly is breaking Zarkor into pieces and not letting him have a chance to fully heal. Broly. Die, you piece of shit. Back in the Diaglo Desert, Vegeta is still powering up. He transforms into a Super Saiyan 5 and discontinues powering up. Vegeta. Now let's see how you fare against a true Saiyan. Goku. Thinking, wow, Vegeta, I'm impressed. You may be more powerful than me. Narrator. Can Zarkor finish his training in time to lend a hand? And will Vegeta's new power be enough to finally defeat Ogster? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 64. Goku's knocked out. Narrator. Last time, Zycor's training intensified as Broly wouldn't give him a moment of time to regenerate himself. Elsewhere, Vegeta amazingly transformed into a Super Saiyan 5 and surpassed Goku's strength. Could he be the one to defeat Toxter? Find out today, on Dragon Ball AF. Vegeta. You're finished. Vegeta charges at Toxter and punches him across the face. Toxter is launched back and he hits a palm tree. Toxter floats back into the air. Toxter. Do you really think it's going to be that easy? Just power up and it's over. Vegeta. You're so full of yourself. Vegeta. What? Toxter. It's about time to show you all of my tour power. Toxter powers up to his max. Goku. No. He's too powerful for Vegeta on his own. Goku floats up to Vegeta's side and transforms into a Super Saiyan 5. Vegeta. Stay out of this, Kakarot. Goku. You can't do this on your own. We need to fuse. Vegeta. We need nothing but for you to get out of my way. Toxter. Thinking they must not fuse. Not thinking. Vegeta. How about I get rid of this pest for you and we can continue our match without interruptions? Vegeta. Fine by me. Toxter charges at Goku and kicks him higher into the air. Toxter zilches above Goku and karate chops Jim in the back of the neck. Toxter then clutches Goku to the ground. Goku hits the ground and goes unconscious. Toxter. Ha ha. Not fusing with him will be your last mistake. Vegeta. Oh really? I think the mistake was you getting in my way. Vegeta and Toxter charge at each other. Toxter goes to headbutt, Vegeta goes to punch. Vegeta's fist hits Toxter's head, but Toxter continues his charging. Toxter ends up headbutting Vegeta in the gut, but he doesn't stop. He ends up ramming Vegeta into the ground. Toxter flies back into the sky. Toxter. Let's go, get up. I know you have more fight in you. Vegeta stands up. Vegeta. Thinking I can't feel my energy being drained from me already. I've barely even done anything and I'm already tired. No matter, this match will be over before I lose too much. Vegeta floats into the air and then charges at Toxter. Vegeta zilches betting Toxter and kicks him in the back. Toxter flies forward a bit and turns around. Vegeta begins launching blasts at Toxter. All the blasts hit Toxter and explode as smoke fills the sky. Toxter floats out of the smoke as if nothing happened. Toxter. This is the power of a true Saiyan. Pathetic. Toxter creates a ball of ki between his two hands. The ball then stretches up, forms the sword shape and solidifies. Toxter swings the ki sword at Vegeta. Vegeta ducks and kicks Toxter's hand, knocking the sword to the ground. Future Trunks picks up the sword and puts it in his sheath. Future Trunks. I needed a new sword. Toxter punches Vegeta across the face twice, and then punches him in the stomach. Toxter spin kicks Vegeta across the face and on the side of the stomach. Vegeta is launched away from Toxter. Vegeta. Thinking looks like this is a fight to the death. Back in the hyperbolic time chamber, Zycor is fully reformed. Zycor. Why don't you destroy me down to a single cell? Broly. That's a little too risky as a Mystic Saiyan. It's easier for me to generate too much energy in that stage, because it continually draws in energy from around me and stores it all in me. Practically no limit to a stage like this. Broly and Zycor sit down at the table and start picking out on all the food. Narrator. When will Broly be done training Zycor and help out on the real fight? Will Goku wake up to lend a hand to Vegeta? And will Vegeta follow his pride to his death? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 65. Gotenks and Gogeta, Super Saiyan 5 Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Vegeta continued his assault on Toxter, but it wasn't long before it was obvious that Vegeta could not win this on his own. In another time and place, Broly and Zycor relaxed as Broly revealed the secrets of the Mystic Saiyan. Inside the hyperbolic time chamber, Broly and Zycore exit the building. Zycore. MMM. That was yummy. Kinda burned though. Broly. Told you, you shouldn't blast the turkey. Back at the oasis in the Diaglo Desert, Vegeta flies at Ogster and goes to punch, but Ogster blocks. Ogster returns the punch. Vegeta grabs his fist and twists his wrist, snapping it. Vegeta then uppercuts Ogster's elbow, bending it the wrong way. Vegeta spins around and elbows Ogster in the stomach, and punching him in the chin. Vegeta finishes his combo by kicking Ogster to the ground. Future Trunks pulls his new sword from its sheath and runs at Ogster. Vegeta. No, don't. Future Trunks stabs his sword through Ogster's heart. Vegeta drops to the ground and knocks Future Trunks away. Vegeta. You idiot. Look what you've gone and done. All of Ogster's wounds begin steaming. The sword slips out of Ogster's chest and his wounds fully heal. Vegeta. Stay out of this, child. You don't know what you're dealing with. Ogster stands back up. Ogster. I don't think you have a clue about what you're up against. Vegeta. As I've clearly stated before, I can't defeat you on my own. Ogster. Is that so? Do you think I don't know about your energy being drained? You can't stop me with the amount you have left. You're finished, Vegeta. Goten is shaking Goku. Goten. Get up, Dad. Chibi Trunks. I've got an idea. Help me. Chibi Trunks and Goten roll Goku into the pond. Goku starts splashing around. Goku. Where am I? Oh, right. Goku floats over to Vegeta and powers back up into a Super Saiyan 5. Goku. We need to fuse. Vegeta. You may be right, but just because we fuse this time doesn't make us friends, Kakarot. Do I make myself clear? Goku. Yep. Vegeta and Goku preform the fusion dance. Goku and Vegeta. Food. Ion. Hey. The two become Gogeta as a Super Saiyan 5. Chibi Trunks and Goten then preform the fusion dance. Goten and Chibi Trunks. Food. Ion. Hey. The two become Gotenks. Gotenks powers up into a Super Saiyan 5. Gotenks. Ha ha. Not bad, eh? Ogster takes to the air. Ogster. I should never have let them fuse. Gotenks and Gogeta float up into the air and follow Ogster. Ogster begins to power up. Ogster. I may need a helping hand. Better yet, 2 helping hands. Ogster continues to power up. A weird bump forms on each of his shoulder blades. The bumps sprout out and become an extra set of arms. Ogster. Now let's see if you can't keep up. Gotenks. You're on. Gotenks charges at Ogster. Ogster begins punching Gotenks with all 4 fists. Gotenks manages to block the first few punches, but then he gets knocked around. Gogeta. Dragon Fist Assault. Gogeta charges at Ogster and goes to punch. A huge fiery dragon explodes out of Gogeta's fist and flies towards Ogster. Ogster ducks and the dragon hits Ogster 2 new arms. The dragon wraps around the arms and Ogster, and then explodes. Narrator. Could Gogeta's final attack have finished off Karo for good? Or will Ogster emerge from the ashes for a second round? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 66. Broly and Zycore arrive. Narrator. Last time, Goku woke up and wasted no time in fusing with Vegeta. Gogeta and Gotenks fought Ogster as Super Saiyan 5S and Gogeta fired an initial attack at Ogster. Could he have survived? Find out today, on Dragon Ball AF. Inside the hyperbolic time chamber, Broly and Zycore power down. Broly. We're done for now. Zycore. But I'm not there yet. Broly. We got to see if the others are still alive. There'll be plenty of time for training later. Broly opens the door of the chamber and walks out as Zycore follows. The two then fly off towards the fight. Back in the Diaglo Desert, the smoke clears and Oxter is still alive and well, except that his two new arms are missing. Oxter. Not bad, Gogeta, but too bad it wasn't enough. Oxter charges at Gogeta and punches him to the ground. Oxter then goes to punch Gotenks. Gotenks blocks and kicks Oxter in the gut. Gotenks begins punching Oxter around. Oxter points his hand in Gotenks' face and creates a key ball. Oxter. One down. Gogeta. Or not. Gogeta kicks Oxter away from Gotenks. Gotenks and Gogeta both nod at each other then fly up at Oxter. Oxter regains control of himself and spin kicks at the two. Gogeta and Gotenks are not apart from each other. Oxter powers up and divides himself into two of him. Future Trunks. Whoa. Now there's two of him. Piccolo. Yeah, but it cut his power in half as well. One of the Oxters flies down at Gotenks and punches him across the face 5 times and then blasts Gotenks, knocking him to the ground. The other Oxter does the same to Gogeta. One of the Oxters lands on the ground, while the other one lands on the top of the other and is absorbed back into the original Oxter. Future Trunks charges at Oxter and slices him into a bunch of pieces. Oxter pieces begins steaming as they reform. Oxter. Sorry, your sword won't work against me. Oxter kicks Future Trunks away. Broly catches him. Oxter sees Broly and takes a few steps back. Oxter. Thinking, why does she only appear when I'm about to kill them? Over on Rashi's island, Maron is just getting home. Maron. Hi Mom. I'm home Android 18. Hello. Maron. Where's Dad? Android 18. He's gone out for a bit. Maron. Does this have something to do with the fight that Pan sensed? Android 18. What? Back at the fight, Broly puts Future Trunks down. Broly. Alright Zykor, you're up. Zykor. Nice. Broly. But remember, I want a piece of him too. Zykor. That's okay, I'll only go up to a Super Saiyan 5. Gogeta and F Gotenks rejoin Gohan, Piccolo and Krillin. Zykor powers up into a Super Saiyan 5. Zykor. I've been training to defeat you. Zykor continues to power up. Narrator. What does Zykor mean by only a Super Saiyan 5? Could there be another stage beyond that? And has his training been enough to defeat Oxter once and for all? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 67. Don't run Oxter. Narrator. Last time on Dragon Ball AF, Oxter made a copy of himself in a last attempt to defeat Gogeta and Gotenks. Once the Oxters became one again, Trunks broke him back into pieces, but that didn't work out since Oxter only healed himself with his special Hulkrosion technique. Trunks' life was imperiled, but Broly and Zykor arrived just in the nick of time. Back at Rashi's island, Android 18 has her eyes closed. Android 18. Thinking, I can't sense you, Krillin, where are you? An image of Krillin, all battered up, passes through her thoughts. Android 18. Krillin. Maron. Mom. Android 18 runs out of the house and flies off towards the Diaglo Desert. Back at the Diaglo Desert, Zykor stops powering up. Oxter has a frightened look upon his face. Oxter. How did you acquire all this power so quickly? Zykor. I was undergoing some pretty intense training in another dimension. Oxter. The hyperbolic time chamber. Zykor. You know of it? Oxter. Like I said over and over. I know everything about you all. I've been watching months before you even arrived on Earth. Zykor. What? Oxter. That's right. I was fully prepared to defeat the Z-Warriors, until you showed up. The fight between you and the Z-Warriors attracted my son to this planet, so I had to lie low yet again. Zykor. Well, I'll put you back under that rock you climbed out of. Zykor charges at Oxter. Oxter goes to punch, but Zycor hucks his arm away, making him turn and exposing his back to Zycor. Zycor spin kicks Dockster in the back. Dockster is knocked forward and hits the plum tree. Dockster turns around to face Zycor. A bunch of coconuts fall from the tree and hit Dockster on the head. Dockster falls on his butt and leans up against the tree. Zycor charges at Dockster again. Dockster goes to Zycor, but Zycor pushes Dockster's fist away. Dockster tries to punch with his other fist, but the results are the same. Zycor uppercuts Dockster on the chin. Dockster is knocked sliding up along the tree and into the sky. Dockster regains control of himself. Dockster, thinking he's too strong. If I can't defeat Zycor, how could I defeat Burly? There's only one thing I could do now. Zycor appears in front of Dockster and goes to punch him in the face. Dockster ducks and launches himself off of Zycor's stomach with his feet. Dockster flies off towards South City. Zycor and Broly follow Dockster. Gogeta and Gotenks defuse. Goten. He ran away. Vegeta. That coward. Android 18 lands in the Diablo Desert. Android 18. Krillin. She runs up to Krillin and holds him in her arms. Piccolo. He'll be fine. He just needs some rest. Goku. Millions of people may not be alright. Dockster is heading straight for South City. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goten and both Trunks fly off towards South City. Android 18. You're coming home with me. Android 18 carries Krillin home. Over in South City, Broly and Zycor are just arriving. They both land on the top of a building. Broly. He's here somewhere. Zycor. How do we find him? Broly. Listen for the screams. They hear some screams and look over the side of the building to see Dockster rooting through the streets. Narrator. Will Dockster be able to survive Zycor's brute force? Or will he fall before the Tooth Science? The stage is set and who will make the next move? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 68. Broly wins. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Zycor and Dockster went at it with full force, but it wasn't long before Dockster realized that he was outmatched. He fled to South City to hide, but he didn't mix with Earthlings due to his appearance. Dockster is running up the street. Zycor. Broly, I think you should take it from here. Broly. Okay. Broly transforms into a Mystic Saiyan. The top floor of the building they are on explodes into pieces and the rest of the building cracks. Broly creates a key ball and launches it down at Dockster. The ball hits the ground betting Dockster and explodes. Dockster is launched forward. Smoke fills the sky as civilians run from the explosion. Broly floats down into the smoke. The smoke clears and Dockster is gone from sight. Broly. Where did he go? Zycor, did you see anything? Zycor. Nope, too much smoke up here. The blast explodes out of the window of a building and heads towards Broly. Broly. There you are. Broly lets the blast hit him. Broly flies into the shopping mall and kicks Dockster up through the building. Dockster breaks through the roof. Broly flies up through the building and kicks Dockster back down. Dockster hits a new part of the roof and falls through each floor to the main floor. Dockster gets back up and runs out of the mall. Dockster begins to fly off. Broly appears and kicks him in the back. Dockster hits an overpass and goes through it. A green glow fills the sky. The green energy is all absorbed into Broly's hand. Broly closes his hand and then thrusts it forward, letting the key ball go free. The ball splits up into 100 other balls. The balls hit the road and overpasses, destroying that entire street. Dockster dies, and his body gets disintegrated in the blast. Goku, Vegeta, Goten, Gohan and both Trunks arrive at South City. Goku. What happened here? Broly. I killed Dockster. Goku. But the city. Broly. I'm sure your human didn't get in my way. Zarkor looks into the distance to see a bunch of airplanes heading towards them. Zarkor, I think we should get out of here. The Saiyans fly off. Piccolo arrives back on the lookout. The flower beds are repaired as well as the temple's pillars. Mr. Popo is currently repairing the hole that Vegeta made. Piccolo, looks like those Saiyans pulled another one out of the hat. Narrator, the threat of the Velcrotians has come to an end. But will the Earth remain peaceful? Or will another rise to challenge the Saiyans? Tune into the next episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 69. Peaceful Time. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Doctor's last chance to survive was to run. That proved to be unsuccessful as it merely trapped him in the city where he met his demise. Broly, Cyclone, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, Gohan and both Trunks land on the lookout. Cyclone. Ha ha. We really showed him. Goku. You two have to learn to be less reckless. There are innocent people on this planet. Broly. Sure, but then they turn on you. Don't come to me. Goku. You don't trust anyone, do you? Broly. My own kind tried to kill me. So who should I trust? Goku. Me. Broly. Forget it. I'm going home. Broly flies off. Vegeta. I agree with that asshole. Vegeta heads home. Future Trunks. Wait up, Dad. Future Trunks and Chibi Trunks follow Vegeta home. Goku. Well, I guess we should go home too then. Goku, Goten and Gohan head home. Back at Roshi's Island, Krillin is lying in bed with a warm cloth over his forehead. His eyes open to see that he is home. Krillin. What happened? Over at the Capsule Corp, Vegeta is training in the gravity chamber. Vegeta. Thinking I'll show you Kakarot. The day will come when I will challenge you again. Only this time, you will never win. Narrator. What is this new invention Bulma is working on? Find out next time on Dragon Ball AF. Episode 70. Bulma's report. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, the evil huckster met his fate by the hands of Broly. The Z-Warriors headed home to rest. Vegeta had no plans of taking any rest. He immediately continued training. There's a knock on the Capsule Corp door. Bulma. Vegeta, get the door. Vegeta opens the door to see Goku and Gohan. Vegeta. What do you want now? Goku. We're going to the gym. Want to come? Vegeta. No. Why would I? It would be a waste of my time. Gohan. If you come, you could show my dad how much better you are. Vegeta. Shut up, child. Get this straight, I'll come, but only to prove how much you suck, Kakarot. Over at Broly's house, on a tropical island, Broly walks into the house holding the dog in his arms. Jinin. Aw, how cute. Is he for me? Broly. Yeah, caught him shitting in the yard. I'll put him in the fridge and we could clean him tomorrow. Jinin. What? We're not going to eat him. He's too cute. Broly. Fine, anything for you. Jinin. You're so what? At Zykor's ship, he is inside eating a couple of apples. Computer. Another ship approaching. Zykorp. What? Back at the Capsule Corp, Bulma is working on her new invention. Bulma. There, that should do it. She turns on the monitor and sees a meteor. Bulma. Oh my god. The Karbu Fight Club in West City. Vegeta is on the Weight Master machine and is lifting as much weight as the machine can hold. Goku is doing the same amount, but he is them on a separate bar. Gohan is on the treadmill. Bulma. Hey guys. Vegeta. What the hell are you here for? Bulma. Well, my new invention works. It's a long-range space radar and it picked up the meteor heading to Earth. Vegeta. And? Bulma. Well, it's not a meteor at all. Further examination showed that it's a disguise ship carrying two life forms. Gurhan. Is it bad? Bulma. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to identify or make contact with them. Goku. When will they get here? Bulma. I'm not sure if it's coming to Earth. It may just pass by, but I thought I should let you know. Goku. We should let Piccolo know. Up on the lookout. Piccolo is meditating again. Mr. Popo. Excuse me, Piccolo, I've finished fixing everything. Piccolo. Doesn't matter. The war is coming, and if I'm correct, it won't be on Earth. Narrator. Could these new creatures pose a threat to the Earth? If not, why would their ship be disguised? And what did Piccolo mean by a war coming, but not on Earth? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball AF. Episode 71. Popo's birthday. Narrator. On the last episode of Dragon Ball AF, Bulma's new invention was a space radar which detected an alien spacecraft heading in Earth direction. Mr. Popo. What do you mean the war? Piccolo. I'm not sure, but I sense something big is about to take place on Namek. Mr. Popo. Oh dear, does this mean that you might have to go to Namek too? Piccolo. I don't know. Why don't you take the rest of the day off? Mr. Popo. What for? Piccolo. It's your birthday. Mr. Popo. Is it really my birthday already? Piccolo. I don't know, but I need to concentrate. Mr. Popo. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Popo walks inside the lookout tower. Piccolo closes his eyes again. Goku and Gohan land on the lookout. Goku. Hey, Piccolo. Piccolo opens his eyes. Piccolo. Thinking now what? Goku. Piccolo, seems like we'll be having company soon. Piccolo. What do you mean? Gohan. Bulma's device showed an alien ship coming to Earth. Piccolo. Great, just what we need. Goku. Don't worry, I'm sure they're friendly. Piccolo. Perhaps, but I can't watch both Namek and these other guys. Gohan. What's happening on Namek? Piccolo. I'm not sure what yet, but it's something big. Over at Goku's house, Shishi and Goten are in the kitchen. Shishi. Goten, those boys will be so hungry after their workout. What should I make for lunch? Goten. Food. Shishi. Well, of course, silly. Shishi starts going through the cupboards. Shishi. Ah. A lizard. Goten. Natalie. Shishi. What? Goten goes to the cupboard and picks up the lizard in his hands. Goten. He's my pet, Natalie. Shishi. You mean she? Goten. No. He's a he. Up in space, the meteor spaceship begins glowing red. Narrator. What could be going on inside the alien spaceship? How much longer will it take before it reaches Earth? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball AF.